This is the collector on the corner. I'm over here at the other place. As I've been promising, I'd do an Avery video one of these days, so I'm gonna do an Avery video real quick. This is the very first tractor I ever bought. Bought it about 55 years ago at auction, paid $12.50 for it. As a typical old tractor, somebody left the exhaust open, it rained in it, and one of the cylinders was bad. I tore it down, cleaned it up. Luckily the sleeve was good. I put a set of rings in it, got it going. We used it a lot. Not very good tractors in a way. They get wobbly. And see these braces?
Yeah?
I welded them braces on there because it wobble around. It's got 3-speed.
Mm-hmm.
And I always thought, I got a little old bitty Dodge 3-speed transmission. I always thought I'd split that drive shaft and put that little Dodge 3-speed in there. They do have live hydraulic. They had what they call the through draft hydraulic system. And what we did, if you see that nut right there, that's a rubber expansion freeze plug, core hole plug.
Oh.
I've got one there. There's one underneath. That carburetor's not very good. It don't matter about that carburetor. We was using that, and that carburetor's always flooding over all the time. The float was bad, hot holes in it. We tried soldering on it, this, that. And finally, me and my middle son, we cut the bottom out of that float and cut us a couple piece of cork that fit up in the bottom of the float, and we varnished them. And we put varnished cork in that float to make it work.
Wow.
I fixed a tire for it.
It looks like it.
I've got the grill over at the house. I come by here and somebody taking the grill loose, and I don't know, they got scared or something, didn't finish taking it. And I took the rest of it loose and took it home. Maybe I was going to get the radiator right. Anyway, we got her. And what I did, I filled that exhaust manifold completely full of used motor oil. And I filled that crankshaft as full as I could get. I pulled all the spark plugs out and filled them full too. And it's been sitting here pickled, what, close to 30 years?
Yep.
About 30 years since it's run. It's not stuck. I turn it over every once in a while. I bring crank over here and crank it just a little bit.
Yeah, but you
Rock
parked
it
it
back and
in the
forth a little.
way. It's in.
What?
You parked it in the road. It's in the
parked in the
way.
way, and we need to move it.
Yes.
I need to come over here and move it.
Yes.
But I've got a 57 Chevy hit over here. Yep, 57 Chevy, 2-door, red, V8, 4-speed. It's up the hill here hidden. I'm gonna show it to you. I'll drive up there. So that way little Debbie don't gotta get out. She might get in some poison ivy or ticks or chiggers and stuff. They don't bother me, but you don't have to get out of the truck.
Yeah, but I get close to you, and that's
That
bad.
old motor home,
Yeah.
it's got a 440 and a 727 torque flight in it. I drove it in to right where it's sitting.
That's.
Bought it at auction for $110.
Well,
It's even got a Kohler 2-cylinder gas engine with a big generator on it.
You do realize we're going backwards, don't you?
Yeah, I'm backing up so I can.
Oh.
I'm gonna get on this road here,
Oh.
this road right here.
Yeah.
There's our OEM. It runs. I drove it right to there just the other day.
I know.
There's a POS bulldozer.
The one I told you not to buy?
Yeah, Debbie told me not to buy that.
Yes, I told you.
I should have listened to little
he
Debbie.
never-
That's what I did.
He never listens.
Good thing we got 4-wheel drive. We'd never make it.
Oh,
And
shoot.
I'm gonna put 4-wheel.
Shoot
That
that.
old 64 Ford
Dog.
there. One time there was a guy looking for a
Oh,
side glass.
yeah?
That curved rear back glass, he said, I'll never find one. I've looked everywhere. And I said, you ain't looked at my place. I got one. I sold him the back glass out of that thing.
Uh-huh.
I sure did.
Uh-huh.
Old boy's dead now. His name was Wingate, and we called him Windy Wingate. I don't know what his first name was.
Uh-huh.
And there she is, folks. 57 Chevy.
Well, are you going to open the door for me?
2 doors.
Are you going to open the door for me?
Oh, you want to get out?
Well, I can't.
I'll let little Debbie get out then.
I can't really take a video of it, the 57 Chevy from here.
Oh, okay.
We got to have the whole effect.
Well, you want to get the full enchilada, huh?
Well, I'm not an enchilada person. Maybe spaghetti or something. Okay. Oh, close. Okay. There goes Randy. And he's going to show you his treasure. There it is.
Well, it's starting to be blue under that red.
So this is your 57 Chevy.
Yep, it's 57. Uh-oh.
Someone stole your motor?
Yeah, you can show them motor.
I said someone stole your motor.
No, but they took the air cleaner.
Well, them buzzards.
The hood hinge off of it for some reason too.
Yeah, well, they probably stole it too.
That emblem's going.
Though you do kind of got it hid. Okay, there's the motor. There's the Canuck playing with the hood.
Okay.
Yes?
Got a V8 in it.
Uh-huh. You say so.
And that's going off of it too. Somebody's took the air cleaner.
Yep, I
and
see.
there was 2 pipes that run from here
to there.
up there.
Why would they take it?
I don't know. Somebody come by one. They just got 2 or 3 intake on it, and I had closed PCV on it.
Wow.
What that is, that's the 307.
Yes.
And they run it in as a claiming motor in a stock car.
Mm-hmm.
And that fine dust from out there at the stock car track got in there and it ate the rings up and it was burning oil.
This one here, this motor?
This motor?
Mm-hmm.
So I tore it down and I got a set of 20 thousandths over 283 rings that I had. And I cut the ring groove out and I honed the fire out of them cylinders and I filed the end gaps down them rings and made them rings fit. And that part worked fine. But I think what's happened to it is it developed a rattle. And I think it's got a busted skirt on a piston.
Ah.
It's a tap. Don't sound like a rod knocking. It sounds more like a lifter, but it's not a lifter. But I put this in here as 6-cylinder. If Debbie will shine right down there, can you see that?
I don't know. Can you see it?
Yeah. I made them motor mounts, them front motor mounts.
Okay.
And that's got a 63 through 66 Chevy pickup bell housing with 11-inch clutch in there. When I got this truck, it had a 261 6-cylinder in it. And it had oversized pistons, and it was in real good shape, except for one thing. The guy who had this was getting a divorce, and his wife had come out, and she had put a garden hose right down the carburetor. And it was in the winter time.
Oh, so that's what you do.
And it froze and busted one of the cylinders. And he got mad, or I don't know, but it wound up there at the spring auction down there, the FFA auction, with that motor messed up. I think they'd pulled the head off or something. And I bought it for $50. And then I paid a guy $50 to hook it to a wrecker. My wrecker wasn't big enough. It had come through town. So I paid a guy $50 to drag it home for me, and I put that 307 in there, and I drove it to right here. But it does have a trick in the motor. It's a 4-speed, 2-speed, and used to be people would take an old dump truck like this and make their living. It's hard to believe, but in the 60s, late 50s, early 60s, this little old truck right here, you could get a 24,000-pound tag. Well, it weighs 10. Well, that left you 7 tons.
Mm-hmm.
But you got paid 10 cents per ton per mile, loaded mile, for hauling asphalt. So you could haul, you got $7.70 a mile. If you went 10 miles, you got $7.
Mm-hmm.
And gas was always less than 30 cents, mid-20s.
Yeah.
And guys would take an old dump truck like this, and they would actually make their living hauling asphalt and stuff with an old single axle dump truck. It ain't a bad old truck. And that's why one reason I sold the International, I still got this one. And I need to do something with it. But if you look,
You need to sell it.
look on the dash there, Debbie.
Well, honey, you have to close the door
If you
and
can get around behind me.
let me scoot over here.
I kind of like that blue better than that red. I didn't know it was originally blue.
Oh.
See that fan on the dash?
Oh my God.
That was the air conditioning from back in the day.
Yeah, that's upper crust.
Yeah, that was air conditioning back in the day. But they had that little old bed on there, and they would haul asphalt on
Yeah.
these little old trucks.
A little old bitty bed
They
too.
did good.
Well, them tires are huge.
Yeah. I think them 920s.
Well, they're bigger than the truck almost.
I think them 900s. It's got 2-speed. And the brakes worked on this old truck, but if you let it sit for a month, you had to pour fluid in it.
Mm-hmm.
But I backed it in right here and parked it. And it probably been, what, 15 years?
Yeah. No, longer than that. We've been where we're at 15 years.
Okay, well, maybe 20. We drove this bus in right here. And then I sold the motor out of it. And this tree has grown since the bus was parked
Yeah.
here. This tree didn't even exist, so that's how long it's been here. I got a little bit of a funny story I'm going to tell.
All
A
right.
short one.
You want me to start laughing now?
I was working on this construction job,
Uh-huh.
and they needed dry dirt, and it needed to be a certain way, and this and that. And they didn't have no dump trucks or nothing on the job. Had a couple earth movers out there. I think they were 621 Caterpillars.
Mm-hmm.
Had a pair of them. Had an old track loader down there. So they found a bank of the sandy, reddish type clay that they wanted up there to fill around pipes or whatever they was doing with it, and they needed a bunch of dirt. They couldn't, the engineer wouldn't let them put the dirt that they dug out of the ditch back in it or something. So I was loading these 2 earth movers with this track loader. I think it was a 977 Cat. In the wintertime, it's cold. And I took and put me some gunny sacks, burlap bags over the radiator. The fan blew out the front. And he got me a big plastic pipe with a 9 put over there and run that back to me and run a 45 down. And that heat from that radiator would come down around me, and I was wearing coveralls. It was pretty comfortable. It was real cold. Snow on the ground. And at noon, the boss come down there one day. We've been doing that for a week. He come down there and picked me up, take me up to my pickup at lunch. I had my lunchbox pick up and sit and pick up and eat lunch, you know. And he come down there and got me, carried me up there like he always did. On the way back, halfway down there, about a half mile down there, there's one of them earth movers pulled alongside the road, parked. Nobody around it, sitting there running. And he said, well, what in the world did he park that earth mover there like that for? He said, where's he at? And I said, I don't know. He said, well, jump on that earth mover and drive it on down to the pit. So I just jumped on that thing, you know, get up our old 621 Cat, get up there, grab that steering wheel, mash that throttle full, pull that first lever. There's 3 levers in a row there. One works your crowd, and one works your lip, another one raises your pan off. Pull that first lever, raise that pan up, and mash it down there. And I don't know how fast it go, but it's going downhill. And ain't none of them got brakes on them. I go flying, bouncing down that old road. It ain't smooth. I'm down that hill. And I get down there and I pull into where we're at, you know, and I drop that pan in and run a little bit of dirt up into the pan, but it's good dirt. Some that just got spilt there. And I get off, and this other scraper up there, he's sitting there laughing, about dying laughing. And directly I hear something hollering. And I look, and that other old boy's crawling out of that pan. He had stopped halfway down that hill because he needed to take a dump.
Go to the bathroom?
Yeah, number 2. he had to leave a poop. Anyway, and he crawled in that pan of that earth mover to get out of the cold wind, and he had his coveralls down around his ankles and his pants down around his ankles, and he was squatting there when I jumped up on that earth mover.
Uh-huh.
And he says, I was hoping when I felt that thing start moving that was somebody else on there, that it wasn't Randall. Because I knew he'd go down that hill as fast as he can, probably raise that loop out and try to get half a load of dirt before he got stopped.
Oh, Lord.
He was pretty upset. Anyway, well, everybody thought it was funny.
Oh, Lord.
But I don't know if he finished his job or not. I just went over and stayed up on that track loader and kept it moving.
If he did it in his pants.
He was yelling and hollering at me while I was loading that other boy, you know, and I just kept on loading. Finally got around there and he pulled up there and I loaded him up and everything. After that, anytime I got around the earth mover and got ready to move it,
You looked in
I
the
walked
back.
all the way around it and looked up in that pan before I drove off. I walked all the way around the back of it and all the way and looked, you know, underneath it and around it, because it's one of them things you just don't think about, but there could be somebody anywhere.
Yes.
You know. But anyway, I can't tell that boy's name. He's probably still alive. He was a lot younger than me. But
Yeah, please don't tell his
I
name.
won't name who I was working for or anything, but it's a pretty big outfit. That's the story of the earth mover. I used to go on a job all the time, go out to a road construction job or something. I'd want a job. I tell them I could I was finished hand on a road grader. Oh, all our seats full. We need a scraper hand. And I always tell them I ain't never been on one of them scrapers in my life. You know, and that's just that and other, because I didn't want to hire on, because you ever hired on to run an earth mover or scraper, you never ever got off of it. It was real hard on your back, and a lot of them didn't steer good, and you're pulling all the time. It's hard. It pulls on your chest muscles. It's a job for real young men. An old man don't need to be on no darn earth mover, because they want you to haul as many loads as you can as fast as you can.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, and I ain't never been on, I've heard of them, but I've never been on a job where they wanted you to drive that earth mover at a decent slow speed. They wanted you to go as fast and hard as you could. They got paid by the yard, and they wanted to haul as many yards of dirt as they possibly could.
That's right.
This old bus is getting yellow. Somebody had painted it with this silver paint that you could get to put on metal roofs. It's got tar in it, just leak proofing. They painted it with silver paint when we bought it. An old International. About a 61. Had a 345 engine, and I sold it to old boy to put it in he had a knuckle boom loader. International truck with 345 in it. But anyway, if Don's Hot Rod Garage can call a 55 Chevy 4-door, more-door, a crew cab, I can call this a 57 2-door V8 4-speed. Debbie says I shouldn't use clickbait.
No, don't. I don't like.
But it ain't a bad old truck. Most of them, if you look,
I'm
look
coming.
how good them fender eyebrows are. Most of them, this is always rusted out.
Oh my.
See, that's good.
Yes. So if you need a fender eyebrow, you know where one's at.
Yeah. They put them on their pickup. That cab will fit a pickup. Doors fit a pickup.
Really?
The grill and muffler won't.
Yes, it would. It would just be really big.
But anyway, yeah. And I ain't got no title to it.
Oh.
I didn't get the title.
Yeah.
And then when I went to try and get a title on it, they run the numbers on it at the revenue office, and there was a bank lien on the title.
Ah.
And not to say that somebody still owed the bank. They may had the title and had that bank lien signed off. But it was a bank over in Jonesboro. And that bank had been out of business about 4 years when I tried to get the title. And being there was nobody to sign them papers that I needed to send to Little Rock saying that the bank didn't have no interest in it, that the lien had been paid. No records or nothing. I went to the bank that took over that bank that went out of business. Didn't do no good. So I could. So you can't get a title on this thing. You can't get a title no way, shape, or other because the computer shows that it has got a bank lien on it. But you can use it on a farm.
That's
use
right.
it on the hillside here as long as you don't take it out on the paved road.
You don't want to use it on
road.
this hillside. You're liable to roll down it.
Yeah, I drove it way up there and dumped
You
a little
did?
junk way up a hill.
Jesus.
Yeah. It had a load on it when I went up there, and it went up there easy enough.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
That was a 56 Ford 1-ton.
Wow.
Old pickup cab right there.
Wow.
There's still a lot of good parts on that.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
The top part above the windshield ain't rusted out, and that's what rusted out on them.
Wow.
So I guess that'll be it for this one. This is me and Debbie over at our 17-acre place. I call this Uncton. Like the Bundys, you know, from Lower Uncton. And Debbie calls it Agony Acres.
Yes, it is Agony Acres.
Agony Acres. It's mostly this.
Yes. Rock and more rock and
Where Debbie's standing.
more,
firmly attached to
more
center
rock,
of the earth.
more rock.
You could put a rock crusher here.
Why?
Good land.
Then you'd get rid of our hill.
I don't know what it's good for.
You'd get rid of our Agony Acres.
It'd almost starve a goat.
Well, anyway, thank you all for watching, and please, please, please be sure and like and subscribe and comment below. Bye!